IGCSE Computer Science, Syllabus Statement 1.3.4c, and this video is 3D printers. So, a 3D printer is quite a bit different from laser or inkjet printers, because instead of printing onto paper, they print objects. So, this is the definition. So yeah, a digital object can be printed or produced. It's usually used in computer-aided design. Now, when we looked at 3D scanners, we looked at computer-aided design with them. So, what you could do is get a 3D scanner, scan an object, put it on your computer, and then print the object on the 3D printer from your computer. So, there's that. That's pretty cool. So yeah, a 3D printer kind of looks like this. So there's a little city there. Anyway, there are two types of manufacturing for 3D printers. One is additive manufacturing, where the 3D object being printed is built up layer by layer using powdered resin, powdered metal, ceramic powder, or paper. So, it's quite a lot of powder. Another type of manufacturing is subtractive manufacturing, where 3D object being printed is carved from a block of stone until the object is formed. Now, this type of manufacturing for 3D printers is less common than the additive manufacturing because, well, we could use powdered resin, powdered metal, and quite a lot of other materials. So, basically, a more diverse amount of. You get the point. Like, you could use more materials for additive manufacturing than subtractive, because subtractive is just like one material where you carve it. It's kind of yeah. So then there's types of technology which 3D printers use. One type is direct printing. This uses inkjet technology. So a printhead moves side to side like an inkjet printer, but can also move up and down to build the layers. So you can imagine a printhead which can ground XYZ coordinates as opposed to X coordinates like 2D inkjet printers. Like inkjet printheads can only move left to right, side to side. 3D printers can move up, down, left, right, whatever. Another type of technology 3D printers use is binder printing. So the printhead moves like in direct 3D printing, but two substances are sprayed for each layer. So there's the dry powder and the binder, which is a type of glue to form the object. And there are also some other technologies which make use of UV light to harden liquid polymers, and this increases the diversity of products that can be produced. You don't need to know much about that, just know that there are other technologies and UV light. Yeah. So here are the steps involved in 3D printing. So a design is made using computer-aided design software on a computer. The design is imported into software which converts the design into an understandable format for the 3D printer to read. The 3D printer is set up to print the object. The object is built up layer by layer. The layers are usually 0.1 millimeters, but this step can take hours, of course depending on the thickness of the layers and the size of the object being printed. So if you imagine how slow an inkjet printer is, here's a 3D printer. And finally, once the print job is complete, the object is finalized, depending on the object being printed. Now when we say finalized, we kind of mean finished off. So like excess material removed, like cutting unused material from the object, like basically finishing it off to make it look better. This can take quite a while as well. So finally we get to the uses of 3D printers. Now, if you noticed, in inkjet printers and laser printers, I just said use. Well, we see uses here, which means that 3D printers have quite a lot of uses. even though most people don't really use them, unless you're watching this in 2030, and then like 3D printers are like, the thing. Anyway, so use of 3D printing is to make prosthetic limbs for patients. So it's basically if a patient, like in a war, loses their arm, then or like one of their joints or whatever, then a 3D printer can print it. Now, you can imagine it kind of like building up the design in CAD software and then printing it. So you can be pretty accurate with this, or you could use a 3D scanner to scan some of their other limbs to see how it. Quite a few things. You can also make items which allow precise reconstructive surgery. So it's kind of similar to that, but basically, if you need to reconstruct someone's, say, face, then you can be really precise with what you print in order to put it on the person's face. You can also make lightweight plane wings. Now, this is a bit risky, but with time, hopefully people can actually do this, because, it's much easier than having to build up wings stuff. So, yeah, it's quite cool. Making sculptures, so like, this doesn't really require an explanation here. We're making sculptures, so like art sculptures of models, and also making items which are no longer produced in industry. Now, I think this is especially important, and this is because if you're watching this now and you're like 70, you might realize that some of the stuff that you had back then isn't produced anymore now. So with 3D printing, you can design it and then print it. So yeah, that's pretty much it.